guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to talk about the moment where I decided enough was enough and I need to lose weight. Basically my click moment. I have kind of spoken a little bit about my click moment here and there, but I've never actually gone through in depth exactly what happened that night. Like basically this is going to be like a story time. I'm going to go through all of my emotions, what I was feeling, just to give you guys more of a better idea of exactly what brought me to the point of being like, okay, I really need to lose weight. I do have a video going through like growing up fat, my experiences with my weight and all my struggles and all of that kind of stuff, and then what led up to my moment, my click moment. Today's video is going to be a lot more like in-depth on that night and like a little bit more of my experiences and how I kind of felt. The reason why I'm even making this video is because I went out the other night and I took a photo and I compared it to a photo from that night. I'll put the picture here. It's my like transformation photo, before and after photo. Seeing that picture basically brings back so many memories of that night, and it just brings me back so much strong feelings. And then today is the day I'm filming this, is Mental Health Awareness Day, and I've just been thinking about my mental health during that time because I did used to suffer with depression and anxiety. So I will be talking about that, so a little trigger warning to everyone who struggles with their mental health or might find it uncomfortable to listen to someone talking about their own mental health, then that is a trigger warning. It is a chilled video, so grab a coffee. I've got my coffee here with my Skinny Food Co. hazelnut praline syrup in there. Hold on. Amazing. And before we actually get started on today's video is actually sponsored by Skinny Food Co, and I wanted to show you guys some of my favourite Skinny Food Co Chocoholic products because they have got a new range out. So I've got my little box here and I've put in my favourites. So I've got my favourite Skinny Food Co Chocoholic products in here, and I'll show you. So the Skinny Food Co Chocoholic spreads. This is the white chocolate raspberry, which, oh my days, it is amazing. Look at that, right? Can you tell we love it in this house? We love it. Chocoholic spreads are 92% less sugar, so they're a good lower sugar alternative, and they literally taste amazing. They come in so many different flavours. You will not find them in another shop. Like, you will not find another product doing these flavours, I'll tell you that now. This is the hazelnut and banana flavour. Amazing. We also love that in this house. The kids love it as well, so it's amazing. And then the Chocoholic hazelnut milky spread, which tastes like the inside of a Kinder Bueno. Look at that, mate. Oh, just smelling it is amazing. And then on the Chocoholic range, they also have little snack pots with breadsticks and all of these different flavoured chocoholic spreads, so like you can dip it, and they're all like 100 calories and lower sugar. It's nice to have a little treat sometimes. We deserve it, you know. I've got the Chocoholic drops. These are like Smarties. They are only 86 calories a tube and 90% less sugar. Got in the new range, they have got the Chocoholic buttons, which are amazing. I'm telling you now, they're 99 calories a bag, 0.9 grams of sugar, so it's amazing. 90% less sugar. And they've got the Chocoholic smooth bar, which, let me know if you guys like to dip your chocolate bars in a coffee, but I do, and this is amazing to dip in a coffee. It is delicious. It's a lower sugar bar, and it's actually got protein in there as well, 7.8 grams of protein. So replace your normal chocolate bar with this and you're still getting some protein in there, which is amazing. They've also got the crisp one as well, which I also love. It's got like little crispy bits inside. And then if you would like a more higher protein bar, they've got loads of different Chocoholic Duo low sugar bars. They are 99 calories per bar, so they've got two in there if you can see. So if you are like trying to watch your calories and you don't want to eat like a whole 200 calorie protein bar, because that's what most protein bars are, is about 200 calories, which these two together do make up 200 calories, so it's like a normal protein bar. If you don't have the calories to have a whole bar, you can literally just easily take one out and save one for the next day. It's amazing. Or you can give it to your partner. Like what I like to do sometimes is me and Rashawn will share one. So it's amazing. And this is the cookies and cream one. They have the toffee crunch, birthday cake. They have dark chocolate raspberry. I know I'm missing some more. They've got brownie version one. They've got so many to even remember right now. But there is so many more Chocoholic range. They've got the Chocoholic peanuts, so it's like coated peanuts that are covered in chocolate. They've got like, it's an alternative to like, you know, the M&Ms with peanuts in there, like, so coated, chocolate coated peanuts. They've got chocolate almonds. They've got, oh, literally just so much chocolate peanuts. It's amazing. There's so much to choose from, and if you are a chocoholic like me, you can use my code LOUISEOHOLIC. Do you see what we did there? LOUISEOHOLIC. And you can save some money on your Skinny Food Co order, and I highly, highly recommend it. Chocolate just makes me happy. You know what I mean? Just having a little bit of chocolate here and there, dipping it in my coffee, it is amazing. So don't forget to use my code LOUISEChocoholic, save yourself some coins. And thank you so much to Skinny Food Co for sponsoring today's video. If you haven't already, guys, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button. And if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like. I really appreciate it. So for anyone that this might be the first time seeing my videos, hello, my name is Louise. I used to weigh 269 pounds. I was considered morbidly obese. I'm 5'7", and I ended up losing 120 pounds. I've been able to keep that off. I've been maintaining, and now I share my journey here on YouTube. I will link the video down below if you want to know what my experiences were like growing up, overweight, and my struggles with my weight and stuff, but I'm not going to be going too much into that. But just to kind of summarize a little bit, I gained a lot of weight after giving birth to my first son in 2014. I've always struggled with my weight, but I've always kind of been conscious of trying to lose weight, so I've always been kind of yo-yoing up and down with weight and stuff. But after I had my son in 2014, I've always kind of struggled with my mental health. As a teenager, I feel like I've been through quite a lot, and I did struggle with my mental health. After about a year after having my son, I developed depression, or that was when I realised that I was depressed. I feel like I might have been depressed before then, but I didn't realise it. It got to its kind of peak about a year, and that's when, a year after I gave birth, and that was kind of when I realised I had to go to the doctors because I felt so guilty. And that's the thing with depression, is that it can happen to anyone. You can have as much money in the world, you can love your life, or not love your life, but you can be at a point in life where you should love your life, where you feel that you've got everything, that you're not missing out on anything, you've got your family, you've got your friends, but there's still this feeling of being depressed and you can't shake it. And that's almost how I felt. Like, I remember having this baby I loved so much. I felt like I should be grateful and I shouldn't feel depressed, and I felt guilty for being depressed because I was like, I have this beautiful baby, so why do I feel like this? Why do I feel so depressed? And I felt like such a horrible person, a horrible mum, because I just didn't want to go out and do anything, and I would take care of my baby, and I prioritised him so much. I would make sure he was taken care of, but everything else apart from that, I couldn't do it. I wasn't taking care of myself at all. I didn't want to go out. I was struggling to do any housework. I remember having the curtains drawn like all the time, and like Rashawn would come home from work and be like, Louise, you need to open the curtains, let's go out, let's get some air. And like, he would have to come home and try and do some housework as well, because like I was just struggling so much. Because I was struggling so much with my mental health and I didn't take care of myself, that made me gain so much more weight, and I kind of gave up. I was kind of at a point where I was like, I don't care. I was struggling so much with my emotions that I would emotionally eat a lot, and it all kind of was this massive cycle of making me gain weight. So after I had my first son, I gained so much weight, and I was just pretty unhappy with myself. I did try a few diets here and there to try and lose weight, but like I did Slimming World and stuff like that, but obviously it never stuck. So, and it wasn't really a good lifestyle change, so it didn't really work. So yeah, because I felt so guilty about the way I felt, and I knew I had to do something about it. I knew it wasn't fair on my son that I was feeling like this, because I wasn't the best version of myself that I could be for him, and I used him as my motivator to kind of make sure I went and sought help. And I went to the doctors, and I remember breaking down to the doctor saying like how bad I felt as a mum, and like I just really wanted to get better and stuff. And he diagnosed me with severe depression, put me on sertraline, I think that's how you say it, and then I also started cognitive behavioural therapy, which massively helps. So anyone that's struggling with their mental health, I definitely feel like go to your doctor, speak to them and see what kind of therapy you can get, because that massively helped. Like I wasn't in the place to go and see them in person, but we had like phone therapy sessions and stuff where they would call me weekly, and they gave me like a few activities to do throughout the week, which most of the time I didn't do, but I did try to do. Like like a few of the things that they did in therapy was like to go and wash up or something, like set a goal to at least do one, like washing up for like 1 day a week or whatever, because I'm not joking, I got to the point where I was so depressed that I wasn't taking care, like self-care. It took so much energy. All I wanted to do was sleep all day, but I couldn't because I had my baby, so I had to take care of him. So I would sit there and like take care of him, take care of his needs, but that was it. Like that was all I could focus my energy on. And I ended up feeling like I got to a point where I didn't want to be on the medication anymore, because the medication made me feel numb, which it was good in a way because I didn't feel sad anymore, but I also didn't feel happy, and I really didn't like it. Like being on that medication, I just felt numb all the time. Like I just didn't really feel any emotion. So I did end up coming off sertraline, and the therapy was massively helping, and I felt okay. Like I wasn't like completely cured or whatever, but I felt okay, if that makes sense. And then I ended up having my second son, but by that time I was already at my highest weight, and I just was pregnant at my highest weight. And I remember, so this is where my weight actually started to become a problem for me, was in my pregnancy, because I remember them weighing me at the doctors and then saying that I was morbidly obese, which put me at risk during my pregnancy, put my baby at risk of getting gestational diabetes, of preeclampsia, of being a higher birth weight. And they was listing off all these things that being morbidly obese and pregnant put me at risk of. And I remember thinking like they were just being rude. Like I just took it offensively. I was like, no, that's not true. Like I never viewed my weight, I was unhappy with the way I looked, but I never viewed my weight as something that could actually cause an impact on my health or my pregnancy. And I just didn't, like, you know, it was just a shock to me, and I ended up developing preeclampsia. So they were right. I did struggle during my pregnancy. I found it really hard to be active during my pregnancy. I would get really swollen ankles, I would be in pain. I just was suffering with the like symptoms of high blood pressure, because I ended up getting really high blood pressure throughout my pregnancy as well. And yeah, I ended up having to be induced because I developed preeclampsia. So that was like a massive wake-up call for me, that my weight was actually impacting my health, and I was putting my baby's life at risk because of my weight. And it made me feel like, wow, okay, now it was like just a massive realization that my weight was a problem. After I gave birth and stuff, I still didn't like try to lose weight or anything, which is mad to me, but I just remember like little things started to really stand out to me. Well, after I gave birth, I still wasn't able to bend over and put my shoes on. I then had to still start sitting down to put my shoes on like I was when I was pregnant. And I thought once I gave birth, and I'm talking like a few months after, I'm not talking straight away after, I'm talking like a good few months, even like a year after, I still couldn't bend over and put my shoes on without my stomach feeling like it was in the way, and it was like I almost couldn't breathe putting my shoes on. And I remember thinking, okay, I shouldn't be feeling like this. I didn't feel like this after my first son, so I know that it's my weight that's doing this. I remember we got like a new bed, and it was like a metal frame bed, and it was brand new, and I was just so embarrassed because of my weight. I was too heavy for the bed, and it like made the slats go down, so like we ended up having to like replace the bed and get like a wooden bed. I felt so demoralized because I had to like look for a bed that could hold my weight, and not just my weight but my partner's weight, and then like I had to take into account if the kids jumped in my bed as well. So I remember like thinking, oh my god, like because of my weight we have to pay out so much extra money for a special bed because it's not gonna hold my weight, because it was just so embarrassing. It was like literally on my side of the bed, like I lifted up the mattress because I was like, what's going on with the bed, why does it feel dipped? And like the metal slats were like dipped in because I was that heavy. And I was like, oh my days, like just so many things. Like I couldn't walk for long distances of time without getting really out of breath, and it was just so much. Like I almost didn't fit in my bath anymore. Like when I'd sit in the bath, my sides would like touch the side of the bath, like I was squished in the bath. And I remember thinking, if I gain any more weight, I won't be able to have a bath anymore. Editing Louise here. I just wanted to jump in because I can't believe I forgot this point, but yeah, I was also getting like chest pains. I was always having like indigestion, heartburn. Every time like I stood up, I would see stars, or if I moved my head too quickly, I would see like stars and spots. And my vision would go blurry sometimes. Like I don't know what was wrong with me. One of the scariest things that was happening to me was I felt like I was having heart attacks at night time. Like it would mostly be at night, and I'd be just sat down not doing anything, and my heart would start racing, like, and feel like it was beating really hard, and I would get like a crampy feeling in my chest. And like there were so many times I legit thought I was having a heart attack. Like I would like be like ugh, and like sharp pains in my shoulders and stuff. And like when I googled it, it would say like signs of a heart attack and stuff, and I never went to the hospital because I was just so scared of what they would say. And I was always like, it would always go eventually and then I would be fine. So like I just was putting up with it, if that makes sense. Like I never went and saw what was wrong with me. I was living in fear that I was going to have a heart attack, and I knew it was because I was overweight. Like, I just remember thinking, if I have a heart attack, I know it's because of my weight. And like, it just scared me. It was getting to a point where all of these little things were all adding up, and I was like, okay, like, my weight is a problem. But I felt like there was nothing I could do about it. I felt hopeless. I don't know why. I feel like it was just because I was trying to lose weight so many times before, and it never, like, I never could. If I did lose any weight, I would regain it and more as well. So I remember just thinking, like, I'm effed, like, this is my life now. And I just remember I was starting to fall back into a depression even more because of it, and I was just like so anxious all the time. I started developing like really bad anxiety. I just remember I wasn't able to sleep properly at night because I would just be overthinking every single thing. I felt like there was like a massive weight on my shoulders. I just felt lost. I felt like I had no purpose apart from being a mum. Don't get me wrong, I love being a mum, but at the time I felt like that was all I was here for, and it was like I was just a mum to my kids, and I almost lost who I was as a person, like as myself. And I just remember feeling like worried about every single thing, but also like I had anxiety, so I was like always on edge, but also so depressed, and I didn't want to do anything. And like I never wanted to go out. Like I would always like try to want to go out and do things, and like people would ask to do something. So say if like a friend or someone asked me to go out, I'd be like yeah, and I'd make plans, and then I would always make an excuse on the day because I'd be so anxious about going that I would end up just being like, no, I'm not going. Or I would be so depressed that I didn't feel like it, and just the whole social thing, like going out and socialising, really mentally drained me. So I was like, I don't want to do it. So I would just always turn it down or make up an excuse. I knew I wanted to lose weight. That was something that I remember thinking, like, if I lose weight, I will be happy. And I just want to put it out there now, losing weight does not make you happy, like in itself. Like if all I wanted was to take like a magic pill or something that would like wake up. I remember like, this is how sad it was. Like I would lay in bed at night and I would pray, I would wish, I would dream that like, please just let me wake up skinny in the morning. Let me just wake up skinny. And if by magic that happened, it would not have made me happy, because I had to do a lot of inner work and sit with all of my emotions and learn everything that I've learned throughout my weight loss journey to get to where I'm at now, and learn coping mechanisms and stuff like that I wouldn't have been able to learn by just losing the weight. So like losing weight itself does not fix what would not have fixed my depression or anxiety. Like it would not have done that. So yeah, I just remember feeling like that though. And then I don't know why I hadn't seen my friend for a very, very long time. Like majority of my life I've known her since we were like little kids, and I hadn't seen her for a while. And I don't know why, because she's very close to me. Like I don't understand how I'd not seen her in such a long time. I say such a long time, maybe it was like a good few months, and or even coming up to like a year. Like I knew she was actively losing weight, but I hadn't seen her since she'd lost a little bit of weight. And then me and Ashley was out and we saw her, and she came over and she just looked completely different. She'd lost so much weight. And I just remember thinking, like, because she'd always struggled with her weight just like I have. When I saw her and she'd lost the weight, and she'd actually been like actively keeping it off as well. And I just remember like being so shocked. Like I just remember looking at her and I couldn't even speak, because I was like, wow. And it just showed me that it is possible to lose weight. And like it just lit up a little fire in me. I was like, she did that. Like she did that, and she was talking and just explaining what she kind of done. And like I was like, oh my days, like, so it is possible, so you can do it. But that still wasn't what topped it off. So that kind of like lit that little bit of fire in me, like, okay, maybe I can do this as well. But like that wasn't what set me off. And that's why I'm going to be going into the night that literally was like, if you get like a bottle of Coke, and you shake it and you keep shaking it, all of these little things were like me shaking that Coke bottle. And then this night was like letting the lid off, and it just letting it explode. And then I was like, that's it, I'm done. So I just want to like, I'm just trying to give you guys like a full picture of exactly what led up to this moment. Because if it was just for this night and it wasn't for all of these other little incidences, then I don't think it would have had the same like impact on me as what it did. So basically that happened near Christmas time, and I remember thinking, okay, so after Christmas, because I know I wanted to eat all the Christmas foods, and I knew it would be a hard time to start trying to lose weight around Christmas time. And I remember thinking, okay, after Christmas I want to lose weight. And like that kind of like lit that fire in me to want to lose weight, but it didn't make me want to start now. I just remember thinking like, okay, after Christmas, that's when I'm gonna start. I'm gonna lose weight after Christmas. And then basically Ashley's birthday is January the 3rd, right? So I remember thinking, okay, we're gonna go out for Ashley's birthday and I'm gonna lose weight. Like, I remember thinking that, like, okay, I'm gonna lose weight. That was like my plan, my goal. But like, I feel like if this night didn't happen, I don't think, maybe I would have tried, and maybe it would have been like all the other times that I tried losing weight. I don't know, because this night really triggered me. Like, it actually was what made me be like, okay, no, that's it, I'm done, I deserve better. Up till this point, like, I didn't like going out. I stayed at home a lot. I was depressed, I was like anxious all the time, so like I never went out. But Ashley, for her birthday, she wanted to go out for a few drinks, and I had not gone out for like over 2 years. Like, this was my first night out in like over 2 years. So I remember just being like, okay, we're gonna go out, and I was getting excited about it, and like I was planning in my head like what I was gonna wear, what I was gonna look like. And I don't know if anyone else does this, but when I would think of myself in an outfit, I would always picture someone slimmer, like myself slimmer than what I was. Like, I almost feel like I didn't realize how big I actually was. So in my head, I remember thinking of wearing like a checkered shirt that's baggy, and I pictured myself slimmer and like wearing skinny jeans and some nice like heels, with my hair curly, and it just, the checkered shirt would be baggy, like, you know, like a boyfriend shirt, kind of overhanging, loose, looking cute. Like, I feel like you get the gist of what I'm saying, like how I was picturing it in my head. And I remember like the only place I could really shop at was bigger girl clothing shops. Like, I couldn't go Primark or New Look or, I don't know, Next or anywhere like that, because they rarely had like my size clothes, and if they did, they were never suited to my body type. So they could have like the size, but it just, the style just wouldn't flatter my body at all. So I remember I went to Asda, because Asda, I'm telling you, if you're a bigger girl, Asda, they cater for you. They have like such big sizes there. And I remember thinking, okay, I'll go there and have a look. I remember looking, and I found this checkered shirt, which I was actually thinking of wearing during this video, but it's fine, it's fine. Which is, I still kept that shirt. I remember picking that up, and I got it in like a bigger size than what I wanted it to be. So I think I got a 22 or 20, I can't remember. And I remember thinking, okay, this is surely, looking at it, it looked so big. And I remember thinking, I didn't even try it on because I was so sure that it was gonna be baggy on me. And I just remember like, yeah, that's it, there you go. And I was getting myself so excited. I bought like new earrings and stuff. I bought loads of new makeup just to wear. Like, I was so excited to get dressed up and finally go out, because I hadn't been out in such a long time. And I was like, I remember even in this time, I remember seeing an Instagram, and it wasn't Tess Holiday, but it's kind of what she does. I don't know who it was. It was just a bigger girl, and she was like all for fat positivity, bigger body positivity, fat. I got something like that. You know what they're like. You know what they promote and stuff. And I remember like going for her Instagram, and like she was like just showing her body, like being really big, and saying that you can love yourself when you're fat. And I just remember like thinking, oh, why can't I feel like that? What, like, why can't I dress up and feel good about myself even though I'm fat, and just love myself for being who I am or whatever? And I remember like trying to get into that mindset, like, okay, I'm gonna wear this and I'm gonna look good, and like I just tried to be really positive about myself. And then the day it was her birthday, the day we were gonna go out, I even picked up these, you know, like skinny knickers or whatever, they go up on your belly, they like to suck you in. I remember thinking, okay, I'm gonna wear them as well, because nothing's gonna make me feel bad about myself. I'm gonna put them on and it's gonna make me look extra skinny. I remember thinking they were gonna make me look extra skinny. So I remember I put them on, and they were so bloody tight and uncomfortable, and like the top was like rolling down. Oh, it was so uncomfortable. I put my jeans on, which was extra tight as well, but they fit, so I was happy about that. And then I put a vest on, and then I put this top on, and as I knew it, as soon as I put it on over my arms, like it was so tight and uncomfortable on my armpit. It was like, I felt like my arm was gonna pop through. And then like doing the buttons up, like I had to suck in to get all the buttons up. And where my belly was pushing against the top so much, it kept popping the buttons open. And I just remember like getting ready and putting so much makeup on, but these buttons kept popping open, and I was like, oh my days, like that, this is not how I wanted to look. And another moment that happened, just to give you guys a little bit more context of kind of like where I was mentally about my body and stuff, is I did try to like feel better about myself and stuff. And what I used to do was I would never look at myself in a full length mirror. I would always like look in like mirrors that you could only see your face, because like I just wanted to be like, I wanted to ignore what I was doing to myself. Like I feel like I knew I was getting bigger, but I just wanted to ignore it as much as possible, and that's kind of how I allowed myself to get to that point. But like one time I came out of the bath and I had a towel around me, which of course never wrapped all the way around me. It would just touch at the top and then like open out there. And I remember going in my bedroom, and I never look at myself normally, but this time like I allowed myself to like take the towel off and look in the mirror. And I don't think I've ever even told anyone this, to be honest, so first time telling anyone. It's like a therapy session. And like I remember like looking in the mirror and just seeing my body. I just remember like I burst out crying, and I was just so sad at like what I had done to myself. And like I just remember this was like coming up to, I just couldn't believe I looked like that. Like that was me, and I had done that to myself. And I just remember thinking like, I hate what I've done to myself. And that's kind of what led me to kind of like looking at this Instagram page. I don't even know how I found it, because I never followed anyone like that, but that was where like she was talking about, like she was showing her body, and her body looked a lot like mine, and she was like, I like just being so confident. And I just remember almost admiring that, because I was like, I wish I could feel the same about my body. And I think maybe I saw that before I looked at my body, and maybe that's what made me look at my body, but I didn't feel that way. When I looked at my body in the mirror, I did not feel good about what I saw. Like I just remember bursting out crying, and just like almost like I was just like, wow, what can I do now? Like I've almost felt like I was way too far gone. Like how am I gonna fix this? Like what have I done to myself? And I just remember crying my eyes out. Anyway, and then I was putting that top on, and it was popping open. I did my makeup and stuff, and I just remember looking in the mirror at myself, and I was like, this is the best I can make out of myself. Like this is it. And I was like, do you know what? Fine. Like we're gonna go out. We're gonna have a good night. It's fine. And I just remember like I got my sucky knickers on, which was so uncomfortable. It was making me hot and sweaty. Kept feeling like I had to breathe in. I put these shoes on, these heels, and heels killed my feet. And I remember thinking that heels killing your feet was normal for everyone. And like, yeah, heels aren't like the most comfortable thing. But since losing weight, I've realised like when you're overweight, when you're heavy, it hurts so much more, because you've already got so much weight on your feet and your ankles that already, to then put extra pressure on by wearing heels, it is so uncomfortable and so painful. It's not normal. Like healthy weight people don't actually feel that bad. Like they might have uncomfortable feet, they might get pain, but it's nowhere near the amount of pain that you have when you're overweight and you're wearing heels. So just to let you guys know that if you feel pain when you're wearing heels, if you lose weight, it will probably feel a lot less painful, like 100%. So we go to like this pub place. It's like a pub bar, so they've got music, and then they've got like a little room where they've got like a DJ, and there's like a club kind of theme, if that makes sense. But they've got like a bar, pub, and then like an outdoor bit. So yeah, we go there, we meet up with our friends and stuff, and like we get there, we start having a few drinks and stuff, and like I just remember thinking everyone looks so nice, but I just was standing there and I just felt so self-conscious. I hadn't been out in such a long time, so I was just standing there and I was like trying to enjoy myself, but I just didn't feel happy. Like I tried my best, and there was nothing wrong with the night. Like the night was actually a really good night. I just remember thinking like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Like I feel so bad. And I remember like we would go to the toilet, and like we was trying to take pictures, and like I really just felt so self-conscious in pictures. Like I knew I was the biggest out of all of us, and I just remember like I was uncomfortable. Like I wanted to take pictures because I spent so much like effort getting ready and dressing up, and I felt like my face looked nice, but like my body, I was just felt uncomfortable. The skinny knickers like throughout the whole night was just kept rolling down, and I kept trying to faff around pulling them up. My buttons kept unpopping open. We went outside, and we were sat outside, and we were smoking. Like I used to be a smoker. I don't think I've even told anyone that, but when I started losing weight, I actually decided to stop smoking at the same time. But anyway, so I remember being outside, and we was like in the outside bit, and I was smoking, and my friend who'd lost weight was there as well, and I was just asking her like, how did you do it and all this stuff, and she was just talking to me about everything she does, like that she likes exercising now. She just eats like lots of vegetables and like like chicken and stuff like that. Like she was just explaining what she did and what worked for her. I was saying how I want to lose weight and I'm done. Like I actually am sick and tired of it and I want to lose weight. And I was telling my friends, I was like, after tonight I'm losing weight because I don't want to feel like this anymore. And they were like, you can do it, like we believe in you, you can do it, you already know that you can lose weight and all this stuff. And like I just remember like telling them, and I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. We go back inside, we were obviously having more drinks, and like they kept trying to take pictures. And I remember like there's that picture of me sitting there and I'm like, and I remember them showing me, and like every time I saw a picture, like my heart sank and I'm like, I can't believe I look like that. So we went inside the dancing bit and they were all dancing and my feet were throbbing, like proper throbbing, and they were all dancing and having fun. And I just remember I tried so hard to try and dance, but I felt so uncomfortable. I felt like people were looking at me like, what is this girl doing? Like she can't dance. I remember feeling like so anxious and so low, and I just, because I felt so bad in myself, like I couldn't enjoy myself. Like I remember looking at like my friends having so much fun, and like I remember thinking like, why, what have I done to myself? Because I've got myself to this point where I'm so unhappy and I'm standing here, I feel so self-conscious because of what I've done to myself, and I'm almost just now coming to the realization of everything I've done to myself and like how far I've brought my body, like how big I've brought my body, if that makes sense, and like why I'm not happy. And I just remember thinking like, I'm not happy, and like it was just on my mind. And I remember standing there and I felt like crying, and then I left. They were all dancing, and I came back and I went and sat in the pub part, like on the chair, and I just remember like trying to stop myself from crying because like I just felt so unhappy. Oh, I'm so emotional. I'm cancer, guys, right? That's my excuse. Every time I get emotional, I'm like, I'm a cancer. But no, I don't want to get emotional. But just thinking of exactly like how I felt that night, and like no one, I feel like no one would have really known that I was like feeling like that. Like Ashley at the time didn't know, and she's obviously my best friend, because I am able to put on like a hard exterior. Like I'm able to like smile, laugh, joke and make fun out of myself. So like no one really knew how bad I was feeling that night. But anyway, we finished the night. I went and stayed at Ashley's house, and we actually ordered McDonald's. I bought like chicken nuggets, double cheeseburger, a Big Mac meal. Like we had loads of food from McDonald's, and I remember thinking, this is my last McDonald's. I didn't have to do that, but I did. And that did actually turn out to be the last McDonald's that I had for over a year. I didn't have a McDonald's again for like over a year whilst I was losing the weight. The next day I woke up and I just remember thinking, like one of the first thoughts I thought when I woke up was, I'm never allowing myself to feel as bad as I did last night in myself. Like I remember just thinking, Louise, you deserve to lose weight and be healthy. You deserve to feel good in yourself. You don't deserve to feel like rubbish. You don't deserve to have this low self-esteem. You deserve to be healthy, not just for yourself, but for your kids as well. Because yes, you could be like the best mum and try your best as much as you can, but not being healthy and not living a healthy lifestyle is not allowing you to be the best version of yourself. So you're not allowed, like you're not being the best mum that you can be. And for me, like I've always wanted to be like the best mum I can be. So I remember thinking like, if I lose the weight, it's not just going to make me happier, but it's probably going to make me a better mum. I'm going to be able to do so much more for my kids. I'll be able to take them to the park and actually join in with them without my feet hurting, without my body hurting. And I just remember thinking like, Louise, you deserve this. Like you literally deserve to be healthy. And yes, it's going to be hard. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to go through. Like I remember literally telling myself this in my head, like you're going to have to, it's going to be very hard to lose all this weight. Look at the point you brought yourself to. You've done this to yourself. It might feel impossible to lose the weight, but I'm gonna bloody try. You can't fail if you don't ever give up. And that's something I always told myself since I started, was if I don't give up, I can't fail. Like it might take me years and years to get rid of the weight, and it probably would, because I remember looking at myself and I was like, this feels impossible. Like I knew that I had to lose it over 100 pounds, or at least 100 pounds to be a healthier weight. That was scary and daunting, because it's like, wow, that's like so much weight to lose. I remember thinking, if I take it slow and steady, even if it takes me 5 years, 6 years to get this weight off, you deserve to do it. Like, you're worth the work that it will take to put in to lose the weight. I knew about calorie counting. I downloaded MyFitnessPal and I put my weight in. I don't think I weighed myself that day, actually. I weighed myself on the Monday. So I put my weight in, all my height and all that kind of stuff, and it gave me 1,800 calories. I don't recommend people use MyFitnessPal for the calories that they recommend. I feel like you can definitely work out your calories a different way, but that's what I did anyway. I think I went for a little food shop because I never really used to eat like foods from home. I would always order takeaways and stuff. Like, I would like make my kids food and I would end up ordering myself food because I wouldn't eat dinner and I would eat just random snacks. Like, I would never have like proper set meals, or if I did, I would definitely overeat on them, and I never really made like home cooked meals. So anyway, I remember I went for a food shop. I started by trying to eat like bran flakes, muesli, which I quickly learned was quite high calorie food. So then I went to oats and stuff. I remember I was like, I want to join a gym, but I didn't know what to do at the gym. But I was like, I want to join the gym. So I was looking at all the gyms around and I found Pure Gym and the reason why I joined Pure Gym is because it was no contract, and I did not want to commit to a contracted gym because I knew I wanted to lose weight and I was like very set on it. But I remember thinking, at least with Pure Gym, if I decide not to, I can cancel it and I don't have to keep paying for a monthly gym membership. After I dropped my son at school, I went to the gym and I just went on the treadmill and I started walking on the treadmill. I inclined it. I literally inclined it to the top and then I was grabbing onto it. But and then every time I needed a break, which was like every couple of minutes, I had to like decline it, and then I was walking, and that's literally how I started. And then once I started going to the gym, spending that time just exercising, like literally all I did was walking. And I'm telling you now, just walking on the treadmill at the size I was and that being very unfit, I was literally like, my face was like bright red, pounding, I had sweat, my chest was hurting because I decided to stop smoking at the same time. So I literally I quit cold turkey, right? Like the next day I was like, chucked my packet of cigarettes away. I literally had like a whole packet of cigarettes because that night I smoked all my cigarettes and we went and bought more. So I literally remember chucking that packet of cigarettes away and I stopped smoking cold turkey. So I remember like my chest was so like tight. I almost like had exercise asthma, I think I used to suffer with. It was like when I would exercise, like my chest would go really tight and I would wheeze. I would get really bad headaches. I remember I feel like for the first couple of weeks of losing weight, I feel like I went through like a withdrawal phase of smoking and sugar. I don't know, I was getting a lot of headaches all the time. I remember feeling nauseous after exercising and all this stuff, but I also felt so accomplished like after I did it. And I found that my mental health was improving so much more, and like as I was losing the weight and the bloat was going and I was giving my body like fruits and vegetables and not eating as much processed foods or takeaway foods or like high saturated fat food, like my mental health was improving so much, and it was almost like this weight was being lifted off me and I felt lighter, not just physically but like mentally as well, because I was tracking my calories and I knew I wasn't like going to be emotionally eating or allowing myself to. I actually learned how to sit with my emotions and not eat. And I'm not gonna lie, like in the beginning it was so uncomfortable. There was times where I would cry, I would feel stressed, but I was able to use exercise as my outlet for my anxiety. It made me feel so much better, and like the more weight I was losing and I was feeling better in myself, like I did not want to go back. The reason why I'm able to stay so consistent and stay motivated, because I get asked this so much, is because I literally associate my old lifestyle habits and not exercising and just eating pure like junk food all the time, not feeding my body the right foods like nutrients and stuff without giving myself fruits and vegetables. Like I know how I felt when I didn't do them things. Why would I want to go back to that lifestyle? I was not happy. I was so unhealthy. I was so low, so depressed. So my motivation is the fact that I feel so much better inside myself now. I'm able to cope with my emotions so much better. Throughout this weight loss journey, I've learned so much about myself and I've developed so much like more discipline, more mental strength. I enjoy exercise. It gives me like a purpose. Like I found enjoyment in exercise. I enjoy the foods I eat. I feel so much more happier. I'm able to move my body and feel light. Like I literally feel physically and mentally lighter. I feel like I'm able to finally be myself. I feel like the weight was a cushion, like a wall that I put around myself to protect myself, because I was so sensitive and so low, and I didn't know how to deal with my emotions, that I almost like used food as a comfort, but also my weight was like a barrier, like my shell, like I'm a crab, so it was like almost like my shell, I'm a Cancer, a crab, you know what I mean, yeah. It was like my shell that I hid myself in, and losing the weight was able to break that down, and now I'm able to finally be myself. Why would I ever want to go back to that? I don't ever want to do that. So that is my motivation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit more heavier than my other videos, if that makes sense, but I just really wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully you guys can understand a little bit more why I am the way I am now, and why I love exercise, and why I love eating the way I do. Don't forget to use my code LOUISEOHOLIC if you would like to order any Chocoholic range from Skinny Food Co. Thank you so much to Skinny Food Co for sponsoring today's video. For any other Skinny Food Co products, you can use my code LOUISE20 and save 20%. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!